everybody, and welcome to a Just Enough Heshy show. And it's going to be a wonderful show. By the way, everybody, one of my longtime listeners went on vacation. Eddie, I want to say hello to you. He only listens to me on the radio. So, Eddie, welcome back. And, of course, my wonderful co-host, Tom. How are you, Tom?
Good evening, everybody.
He's always the first one, the most promptest one. Thank you, Tom. You always make me feel good because I never know if these two are ever going to show up.
I thought he lives here.
I know that. And Nicole walked in 1 minute before I made a beautiful pasta dish, and she...
And I came with snacks. Everybody
and
eats.
pickles.
There's my bucha,
My whole table is full of food.
pickles,
Thank you so much,
Beasley,
Nicole.
Peter, come on.
Anyways, Nicole, welcome to the show again. Welcome back. Didn't we miss her last week?
Yes.
Yeah, she was gone with the boyfriend somewhere?
No, yeah, I wish. No. Well, you guys were having your bromance. I was watching a kids' chorus show with my daughter who
Very
did
nice.
excellent.
Well,
You didn't go anywhere with...
So pretty this week. Thank you for coming in. And she looks very nice with the fingernails made and the lipstick.
Just for you, Heshi.
Thank
Just
you.
for you. I know how important it is.
No, because you have to teach these young girls, because my son, Yaakov, is
He really wants to say you look trampy, but, you know.
Stop. Wow. And I'm not allowed to use those words. You can. It's not fair.
Oh, my God.
Anyways, and somebody came in today. One of the people said, Heshi, you got to stop joking around, more serious. Are you kidding me? We're very serious. But I had this girl he's going out with that I almost lost because I told her she has to wear red lipstick and fingernail thing. And she says, oh, you can't tell me what to do. Girls should look like you.
Wow, what a compliment.
Yeah, that's great. Anyways, George, how are you?
Hey, how you doing, Heshi?
You're going to love this, Nicole. Me and George met I was at the front of a building. Tell me you like it. We are in front of a building. And I'm standing there, and all of a sudden, a delivery service comes up, and he asked to come in. I said, what are you delivering? He said, I'm delivering marijuana.
What?
I said, you're delivering drugs?
Some marijuana delivery service.
Right, so I said, are you? He says, yeah, I'm a marijuana delivery service. I said, there's no such thing. He says, yes. And he tells me about it. It's named ENOUGH Hub, New York, NY. N-U-G, I hope they put it up on the screen. NUGHUBNY.com.
This is not 2010 where, some drug dealer looking guy.
Right, I said you're a
This guy
drug
looked
dealer?
like an Uber guy.
Right, a drug dealer? No, we have a real license. I'm a messenger to deliver. My company is a dispensary.
Yeah.
And then I'm asking him questions. And he says, we have kosher marijuana products.
Wait, what is kosher?
That's what I didn't understand. We have kosher products, and we help.
Are we going to see you try any of these products?
No. George tried to trick me. Me and George met the guy because we want to invest in this company because they really have a whole beautiful. I'm not trying to build up marijuana. I'm against marijuana.
Really?
George is for marijuana, but
I'm not for marijuana. I'm for
legalizing.
I'm for
marijuana.
decriminalizing
Yeah.
it, and
So am I.
and I'm
But
for
he's a legal company.
I'm for legalization of
And there it
marijuana.
is, ENOUGH Hub from home delivery to Staten Island, Brooklyn, New York.
I think somebody shouldn't get arrested for smoking a joint.
NUGHHubNY.com.
But they shouldn't smoke on the street. Let me be clear on
but
that.
He also said that he does it a lot for the cancer patients. They actually care about it. That's why they have a delivery service. His delivery service is like $4. I'm not trying to pitch his program, but I was so impressed when I met him.
I wanted the
slow
cannabis law to be orderly. I mean, what we have here in Brooklyn now, what's going on is there's an estimate. There's about 1,500 illegal dispensaries just in Brooklyn alone. Can you imagine that?
But he's licensed, he's stamped.
That's the way it should be.
He's well taken care of, and he actually cares about the people. It's a real company. It's not like some little stupid operation. They have a store and another store they're opening up, and they're licensed.
What do you think, and Nicole, what do you think the average sale is?
For marijuana?
Like, you're walking in a dispensary, how much does an average customer spend?
They got to make a killing. They sweat. At least $20 to $100 each person.
No.
No,
much
150 to 200
$200.
bucks.
Even
And
better.
he says people are spending $900, and people don't even look at
Right.
their bill.
Imagine the tax revenue on that.
I know when I go in to buy marijuana, I'm going to be really fighting.
And while you guys are talking about that, I want to say hello to a couple of stations that are tuned in now. 620 WSNR. I'd like to say hello to 1027 WNEW, the old rock and roll station, and also in Miami, 1640 WJPR. And if you'd like to give us a call tonight, you can call us at 646 974-1580. 646-974-1580 and give us a call.
646-974-1580. We were just, for all my listeners that joined in, we were talking about legalized marijuana, how it's Georgia.
Can I just add something to that? And it's kind of a personal
Boy,
thing.
the place is called ENOUGH Hub NY, NUGHUBNY.com. Go online. Really, they're very helpful. Again, I'm not yet into the marijuana thing. George was talking me into it more, and these people were convincing me not to use it,
Right.
but to agree when I get to city council.
But
not
Heshy,
to
the first
stop it.
time you tried, are we going to do it on the radio?
He gave me a drink, a marijuana drink, when I left him, and I was it's sitting in the car still, and I was thinking to drink it. You know, one of those. What was
I
it?
know exactly. I saw the
He
drink.
gave me and George. Did you drink it, George?
No, I did not drink
You're
it.
waiting for the weekend. I'm really thinking of drinking, but Linda was there with me in the car. Linda takes the drink, and she was ready to open it. I said, "No, Linda, you can't drink the drink, Linda."
I just wanted to add on a personal note why I think marijuana should be legal. I had a grandmother who went through a very hard chemo. She died of breast cancer. I'm
sorry.
And one of the number one reasons, she just melted away in front of our eyes. And one of the reasons why she couldn't eat, and I could just think, I wish I knew what I know now. I would have probably given her a joint. She probably would have been able to eat. She would have probably had munchies. She probably could have got through the chemo, but the chemo was, it was devastating for her,
I'm not fighting any of the.
So I do believe there is some use for it in the world.
Well, I'm as impressed with the guy. He didn't convince me yet that I like marijuana, but he talked me into it, like not to give it a hard time when it becomes more spread. Anyways, we're going to start the show. We have a lot to talk about.
Just real quick on the dispensaries. Anthony Finkel, of course, our buddy, will have a plug for in a few minutes. Said, I own a couple of ATM machines in dispensaries. Between Friday afternoon and Monday morning, each machine does around $3,000 cash withdrawals.
Well, I'd like to say hello. I'm in the ATM business myself. So,
Wow.
Well, that's very good. Anyways, we're going to start the show with my wonderful joke. And this is a really good joke. This has really happened. This is really, really good. And I don't care if my co-hosts don't laugh because I laugh. By the way, I had...
it would help if you pay us. Then we'd laugh more.
Now I'm laughing. Tom, laugh.
Might help the YouTube viewership if you get to the joke.
I got you. Very good. Anyways, here's my joke for the day. Me and Linda, as you know, I keep reminding you, we go out on date night Saturday night. And our date night is we go to the grocery store. I know, you can laugh.
Oh
I
my
don't care,
God.
but we...
How old are you, Heshy?
I had just turned 60 and Linda was 54, and we had a good time, okay? We like going to the grocery store. And our favorite aisle is the cereal aisle.
You need to write an anti-dating book.
Anyways, we're in Saturday night. We're in the grocery, and we're taking out from the. We're in the
Take
cereal
notes,
aisle.
Nicole.
And all of a sudden, as we're picking out a box of cereal, an old man comes over to Linda, just like that. She says, "Excuse me, miss. This might sound strange, but by any chance is your name Mindy?" And Linda laughs awkwardly. She says, "No, my name is Linda." She says, "Oh, I figured it was a long shot, but you see," he says, "you remind me of my late wife."
Oh.
So Linda Linda never shuts up, but she finally couldn't say a word, and I even was stuck. I said, "Ah," and he says, "Oh, don't worry. She was on her way out, but you don't remind me on her way out. You remind me of what she looked like in '57, the good version of her." Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Even I laughed.
I don't know.
Sure, I guess.
Okay.
I don't want to be on your wife's, special list.
Well, me and Linda like that. Anyway,
Certainly, Jackie Mason is laughing upstairs for you.
Anyways,
Has she-
here's my quote.
The late great Jackie Mason. Certainly, you wouldn't be confused with him at the moment. But we'll
Here's
say
my quote. He was my client, by the way,
yes,
as well.
from Brooklyn, by the way. Jackie
This
Mason.
is about leadership because I am running for city council. I've done a lot of. I don't want to toot my horn, but I think leadership. I'm learning more into it. I'm being more statesman. No cursing. I'm being more calm.
Proud of you,
Thank-
George.
we
You're
are-
doing a good job.
we-
You're doing
we-
a good job.
A lot of people are telling me at weddings, "You're too quiet, Heshy. You're too."
Heshy, listen, the key is to be a better man from the day before.
I got you, and I agree with you. And here's my quote: a good objective of leadership is to help those who are doing poorly, and to do well, and to help those that are doing well to do even better. And that is my goal. I've always done that. I had a couple of people who are in the Muslim faith, and I asked them. I said, "I'm Jewish. You're coming into me." He says, "We hear good things about you," and they even bringing me to one of their mosques to speak, and we hug each other. It doesn't make a difference who you are to me, but I want you to do well. I want you to do better. That is my goal. That was always my goal all my life. And when these people came to me, he says, "Hey, we heard how you do good." I'm not tooting my horn. I'm just telling you, I know what leadership is. I know what it is to be a good leader, and I'm going to get to city council, and I'm ready this time, and you're going to see what I can do there. A lot of people are really behind me, George, and you are especially going to be behind me, you and Tom. Nicole, we'll see what you can do with me. I hope you do.
Nobody's perfect.
She's from,
Listen,
she's from
I am.
Jersey or something.
I want to see you win. I love to see you win. I don't have to agree with you all the time.
And here's my
you're a good
final
guy.
quote. Champions keep playing until they get it right.
Yep.
So yes, I've lost a couple times, but I'm going to keep doing it till I get it right, guys. And that's it. That's our thing for the day. And we're going to start our show. I think, do you have some commercials to do?
9:15.
9:15. So we got 4 minutes.
All right.
4 minutes.
I'm going to start you off on the top of the ball, Miss Nicole, because you missed last week. We're very angry.
You
at
missed me.
Your people,
Get the dunk tank
There we
ready.
go.
your people screw my president by getting a judgment of $400 million, which is unreasonable, which is
Unreasonable.
unreasonable. Wait a minute, it gets worse because it's never happened before. Everybody even
For a victimless crime.
victimless crime. And wait a minute, here's my landlord sitting next to you over there that says, everybody prices up, even that guy.
Every developer in the United
And
States
the
does
Shark,
that.
You know the guy from the Shark Tank? What's his name? Mr.
Kevin O'Leary.
Kevin O'Leary.
He says New York is a stupid city and he didn't bring in $4 billion worth of new business because we're so stupid. And we're losing it by the minute because of all this stupidity. So here's my thing. Can Trump even declare bankruptcy and keep everything? That's what the law says. Bankruptcy means I can protect all my assets.
By the way, talking about moving, Jeff Bezos moved to Florida and he just saved $500 million in income taxes.
But
Yeah, because Florida's a taker state. There are taker states and giver states. Florida's a taker
But
state.
Trump, can he declare bankruptcy and tell the judge jump in the lake? I don't have to pay the decision. And
He
keep
can
all
declare
his-
bankruptcy. It's not going to help him against a judgment, but okay.
Why not?
Because the judgment's been entered. You can't. It
Has
doesn't.
it been officially entered or just been? But okay, so
It
here's
doesn't
my
strip you of the
so
judgments that
so
you
let's just
owe.
say, like, I know that in America we're allowed to appeal every decision.
Sure.
It's not fair
And he
that
can
has
appeal
to put
this
up a
too.
bond. He is going to appeal it.
Sure.
But why are you now charging me
Well,
interest during
that's
the
a New
appeal
York
process?
thing. I think that's a New York thing. You have to put up the money, don't you? For
It's
the
not fair. I'm not. If I'm allowed to appeal, I should be able to. And you have to pay interest during the time period as well during the appeal. You know that? This is like this judge is mentally ill. So what he did was instead
So-
of
so if
instead
somebody
of banning,
holds
wait a
Trump
minute, so here's
accountable,
the
they're
trick.
mentally ill. I
Here's
love
the-
it. I love
Here's
it.
the trick of you little Democrats. Instead of banning him for life to do business, they only banned him for 3 years. This way he can't appeal. Is that true? What is the appeal?
I don't know that it said he can't appeal. They
They
you know,
say
it's
no,
funny.
in the appeal process,
You know, Heshy, if
he
they
won't
would have
win.
banned him for life, you would have called that unreasonable. They banned him for 3 years, and you're still upset.
Come
yeah,
on.
You're
no.
banning somebody to do business in New York on a
He's a
victimless crime.
fraud.
How
He
about-
didn't do anything wrong.
He's a fraud.
He's
What do
not
you
a
want?
fraud. There was no evidence.
There was plenty. There was a mound of it. How many pages?
How,
did
how
they
much?
find?
How much
Right,
did?
they made fake pay. The banks themselves said he didn't do fraud.
How much did they fine him?
355 million.
5 million plus with interest.
Oh,
and
so
stuff.
that's like 700 Hunter Biden paintings.
Right. 457 million. It comes out at the end.
Well, with
interest
that, with
and
the interest,
fees.
it's like 18%.
This is wrong what they're doing to him. And you know what he did on the Laura Ingalls show yesterday? He says they're coming after me. And like that Russian that they killed. Who did Putin kill? What was that Russian guy?
you know, it's
Alexei Navalny.
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 Navalny. They want to kill Putin. They want to kill Trump.
Give
and
me
they're
a
not gonna get-
freaking break.
Oh,
The
boy.
fact that he could compare himself to a political prisoner who sat there and was the only opponent of Putin and was actually killed in prison, the fact that he thinks he's that noble a person is wild.
He is.
Wow.
The man has done more charity than we'll ever do in a lifetime.
And he's taken more for himself out of it than he will
But
ever
Well,
see
it's
in
hold
a
on,
life.
hold
You're
on.
upset that the
please,
rich take.
self-serving
You're upset
snake.
there are rich people. I'm not upset.
I'm not upset there's rich people.
Hold on, hold on.
Self-serving
You don't see
snake.
there's a political angle that they went after Trump? You think they just really...
Who is they? The fact if somebody's
Letitia
being held-
James.
Letitia James, the
okay,
CIA, the
somebody's-
FBI, Biden's crew. I'll
It's
go
not
right down to
Biden's
this
crew.
Georgia.
Some of these people are people that he appointed when he was in office. Magiello. Oh well. That in
What?
In
But
Hebrew we
how
have
did, hold on a second.
Magiello.
The damages to Deutsche Bank was zero, and the judgment was $350 million plus. Like, how do you explain from
Where's the
going
money
from
going?
zero to
Yeah.
$350 million?
Where's this money going?
It goes to the state,
goes to
doesn't
the
it?
state.
And we need to go into commercials, so let's go into those commercials
better,
right now
because-
here. So we have Green Line Building Compliance. If you want to give Green
That's my
Line Building
company.
Compliance a call, yes, 718-871-0382. They're at 202 Foster Avenue, just before Midwood and Borough Park there. So any questions, anything else, give us a call anytime, 718-871 0382. We're licensed DOB expediters. We're general contractors. We're Green Line Building Compliance. You can also email us anytime at info@greenlinecompliance.com. That's info@greenlinecompliance.com.
By the way, I don't charge for consultations. I help people out all the time with their ideas. And even like today, I have a candidate who's running for assembly, Nachman Kala. He called a very wealthy lawyer, and he called me for advice on a mosque that they lost their 501c, and together we are going to help them. This is already our second project of getting people back to 501cs that the government keeps taking away.
And while we certainly hope you continue to give everybody a call at Green Line, also Weitengruber Law Firm, the cornerstone of financial justice. They handle real estate, bankruptcy, wills, foreclosures. They're at 732-695-3303. They're at 1720 NJ34, Wall Township, New Jersey. 07727. Again, the cornerstone of financial justice, Weitengruber Law. They've been around since 2010, and of course, one of the hosts here on the show happens to work for them. Of
but
course,
it's for New York and New Jersey,
New York,
right?
yeah,
Correct.
New York and
She's
New
hiring
Jersey.
one of my young boys that stayed by us.
New York and
I
New
love
Jersey,
you so
yeah.
much, Nicole. Thank you for giving him a shot. You see, Nicole, you're acting like Trump now. You're taking people off the street and helping them.
Oh, you say that, I might change my mind.
Oh, God.
732-695-3303, Weitengruber Law. And also, for our friends over at Crossroads, please give them a call. Also, when it comes to mental health, if you have any mental health issues, anything, you just want to give somebody a call anytime, you can call them up at 609-810-9522. That's 609-810-9522. They're at 206 West Parkway Drive, Suite 1B, Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey, 08234. And if you want to find the help you need for a better tomorrow, Crossroads is there for you. They're usually around between Monday and Fridays from about 8 o'clock to 4 p.m. And then the Saturdays, it's from about 10 to 4. So anything, you don't have to say who you are. Any questions, anything comes up, especially in this day and age where mental health is such an issue, make sure you give Crossroads a call.
I want to stop you a second. Today I had a couple that came into me for help, and I'm helping them out with the house, and they came about 2 hours late for my appointment. And I don't mind, but I have so many people on the list, like you, George and Nicole. We're all busy all day long, billing. And I said, really, I have to go. I have the show today. I have so many schedules. And they said, we're sorry, we came from a funeral from a friend. I said, what do you mean, a 30-year-old girl committed suicide?
And also
No. And I
know,
said, what is it from? Postpartum depression.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking over our councilman's list of $4.5 million discretionary fund. All he gave was $8,000 to a postpartum depression when our community needs $40 million. And we got $8,000 from our council. I'm not knocking my councilman, because maybe that's all he had left change. But I tell you now, we need
How did you
money.
get to the number $40 million?
and while we
Why
hold
do you
on
need
to
$40
the...
million? I'll tell you why. Because we need...
That's a big number.
Because we have women that are 50% of our 330,000 residents are women.
I agree with you on the $40 million, but I want to run through two more of these real quick.
I have a whole budget for that.
DPH Property Maintenance Service. Our buddy Anthony Finkel is here in the chat. 347-228-2625. Give him a call when it comes to professional, reliable, and friendly service at reasonable rates for any and all residential commercial needs, no matter how large or small, whether it's snow removal, whether it's painting, trash removal, junk removal. DPH Property Maintenance Service has it all. You can go to dph.nyc, or one more time, give a call at 347-228-2625 for your free code. Yep, it's coming up in about 5 seconds right now. Yep, there we go. Yep, no project. Too big or small, DPH Property Maintenance Service is always there for us. And Anthony's a local guy. He's from the Ditmas Park area, which is the
Anthony,
next
I need my driveway shovel. Can you come over, please?
Well, he should have came over on Saturday because we had all that snow that nobody expected.
And you know how many tickets we got in Borough Park for not shoveling on
Hundreds.
Saturday?
Hundreds of them.
It's not fair.
On Shabbat?
We can't shovel on Shabbos. They're tricking us. This is my point that your city abuser. Me and Tom are going to talk to you about voting.
And we're going to definitely talk about that and one
about
more.
HeshyTishler.com?
And those I was about to say. So
Good,
the
thank
most
goodness.
important, one of the most important ones, get is HeshyTishler.com. And also you need to email Heshy if you have any questions, any concerns at justenoughheshy@gmail.com. Justenoughheshy@gmail.com. You can
spell it. It's too long.
JUSTENOUGHHESHY.
You like that? There's two H's there.
Yes,
Okay.
just for you, Heshy, and just enough, just for you, Heshy, like just enough, Heshy. But HeshyTishler.com for City Council.
Not .com. HeshyTishler@gmail.com.
Right, but your website's HeshyTishler.com.
right,
That's
right,
what's going to come up on the screen here shortly. So HeshyTischler.com. Definitely give him your concerns and let him know. Also stop by our office anytime at 5318 16th Avenue, corner of 54th Street, 2.5 blocks away from the D train. So make sure if you're in the area, stop by, say hello to Heshy, and support his cause, because the next election is coming up right around the corner. And if you want to also give us a call here one more time and you have some things to say to Heshy tonight, 646-974-1580. 646-974-1580.
By the way, take advantage. Heshy, I've dealt with other candidates. Heshy's the most accessible that I've ever met, that I spent time with.
I take every call, or I call back, or I
I think he's crazy for doing that. I'm being honest here.
Right, I get prank calls on it too from a lot of kids. And
Really?
stuff. Yeah, lots of prank
come on.
calls. But you know what the beauty of it is? When I'm able to help that one or save that one, even though I had a bad day, I feel so. I know, it's not only the ego that I have, but I know that I've done good. I know that I'm going to have an answer for God at the end of the day. And everybody tells me that, actually. There is a God. Me and George were talking to somebody. Well, God is good. There is no God. Why is God, torturing man? We had a whole God conversation.
He was, it was definitely not a straight up argument.
Right.
It went round in circles a little bit.
He won. He didn't win. He gave us his opinion on what God screws us.
Well, we all don't know until we're there,
Right. But I believe in God. I know God has laughed at me a little bit, but I think he's doing it in a good way. I don't know.
No one said God didn't have a sense of humor.
Boy,
a
he
wicked
has
one
a
at
sense of
that.
humor with me. He gave me Linda. Anyway,
Now that's the joke.
today
There
Linda
you go.
was in the, you see that? I did. Linda was in the office today, and this couple comes in. They said, "That's the famous Linda? We don't believe that she exists." I said, "Look, she's right there." They couldn't believe it. I said, she wasn't wearing lipstick today, so I wasn't happy about it. We had my family had a beautiful wedding this week. My second niece in a month got married. I
Congratulations.
posted it on the video,
Congrats.
which you
Was
guys
that
didn't
dope?
watch. And it was a beautiful wedding, and I saw her crying when she was coming out. I said, "You can't cry. It's your wedding day. You're supposed to be happy." And then her mother starts to cry. I said, "You women, I'm mentally ill. You can't be crying." I was happy when, well, I wasn't happy when I was getting married, but I was almost happy. You know what I mean? Right, Nicole? You can't cry on wedding
My
day.
dad has a good saying. He said he congratulates the bride, condolences to the groom.
Right. But all I know was a beautiful wedding, and my son Yaakov came, so I was showing him the procedure.
Is that the one you're trying to marry off?
Well, today is his date number 6.
Oh, that's it.
And
When's
now
the
he got-
wedding?
He didn't even have
That's
to go.
date number 7.
That's it.
I mean, and he didn't have to go pick her up. She met him halfway, which means that when you don't have to pick up your woman anymore, then it's
That's
already...
what. Isn't that what we do at the altar? You have to meet your husband halfway at the altar too.
No.
Oh, and an
We
Israeli
make-
wedding you do.
No, we don't meet them. They come to us, and they surround us like Linda's going to dance around me when I retire and bring me pina coladas. They have to be trained now to go round and round.
And you know what it is? Because we know we're going to outlive you, so we dance around you like when you're dying, and that's the end
Very
of it.
good, Nicole. Very good. Anyways, that was good. I want to ask you a question.
Go on.
Okay. Super Tuesday is coming. Nikki Haley.
I can't wait.
Right. She's going to be. Do you know there's 63 to 33%, Tom? You know
Yep.
about that?
Yep.
Trump has in her own state of South Carolina. Question to you: drop out.
Just going to get crushed like a cockroach.
But Trump said yesterday on the
And
Laura
South Carolina,
Ingram,
by the way, is a state with what's called
she
open
was-
primaries.
and she was governor twice there, a popular governor. Drop out. She's spending tens of millions of dollars that could go to the right way. But you and I know that the Democrats are giving her the money to make your people.
I'm surprised at you. I'm surprised. Listen, I don't care either
Why
way.
would she
I
be
can't
in the
stand her
race?
either. But I'm surprised at you because a moment ago you just said champions don't quit. I'm not quitting on you.
She's
It doesn't
not a
matter if I
champion.
lose. Listen, she
Champions
may
support-
lose.
Like I support you, I'm not going to run something stupid against you. And I know that I have a lot of people that come.
Well,
to
she's
me.
being funded by a guy called Reid Hoffman. Reid Hoffman's a big Democrat donor,
Right.
And he's the one of the principals of LinkedIn. So he's definitely playing the game to try to
They're
mess
trying
up
to
Trump.
mess up Trump.
Everybody's trying to mess up Trump.
But it's not fair.
Why is it not fair? It's
Because
politics.
she's on our team. I understand you and me have to fight with each other. You're a Democrat, I'm a Republican.
Sure.
But she's a Republican. She's supposed to be behind him.
And until recently, Trump was a Democrat until he decided to run on the Republican ticket. So what?
But once you're on the ticket, you have to be on the ticket.
What do you think? What you
Woman-
leave in a box? You
woman,
think this is the
you-
mafia?
wait,
Once you're on a ticket,
woman,
you can't. There's no out.
Babe
Come
Ruth
on.
was on the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah,
When he
so?
switched to the Yankees,
Yeah.
he's a Yankee man. It's a one team. You can't keep saying, "Oh, he was." Now he's on the Republican team. Like me, I'm on the Republican ticket. Will I stay on the Republican ticket? I don't know.
Exactly.
But I'm going to be a Republican because I believe in the Republican policies.
Just because you're a Republican now doesn't mean you die a Republican. You can change your mind.
I want to die Republican, but the problem
The way
is
this party's going, you should change your mind.
Well, a lot of people want to talk about this.
George is the only one that's normal in this party.
I was born a Republican. I will die a Republican.
Even though they're
Come
acting crazy
on.
now.
My blood is red, and so is my party. New York.
Wow. Very good.
Well, Heshy, there's a lot of
but
people
why
that...
isn't she dropping out?
Because she doesn't quit. I'm
That's
not
your
mad at her
answer.
for it.
That's a dumb answer.
I'm
Because
not
she's
mad
a
at her for
puppet.
it.
She's a puppet. So if we all see she's a puppet and we see that Biden is mentally ill, you don't even say he's not senile. The man ran 4 times. He didn't know what he was doing then. You see him speak. I mean, maybe you don't see him speak, Nicole, but I see Biden speak.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Because quite frankly, I really do think it's a bit ridiculous we have 2 geriatrics running for office. Would you at least agree they both are? Oh, but they both belong in
Wait,
a
hold on.
Would you-
Hold on. The Democrats had Nancy Pelosi running the House up to a year ago.
100%.
Chuck Schumer in the Senate,
100%.
and Biden in the White
Yes,
House.
agreed. Would either
And
of
you guys had plenty of young
100%.
candidates. You had Yang, you had Tulsi Gabbard, you had
Tulsi, I love Tulsi.
you had a bunch of young candidates. What happened? You guys put the old guy back in. You guys are the party of the young.
Would
what
either
happened?
of you agree that maybe it's time for some younger blood to run the country? I don't care who,
So,
but it's time for some younger blood to run the country.
I do agree with that, but here's my problem. Trump is the most qualified.
Get the hell out of here with that.
Are you
gotta
crazy?
be
Trump
kidding
is
me,
the
dude.
only man. Did you ever see him on stage?
yeah,
He
yeah,
looks
yeah,
young
I
to
have.
me.
Well,
It's
Heshy,
important. Looks
the
young.
people want to speak, so let me get to some comments here. First, let me run them down the list here. Anthony Finkel would like to say, first of all, allegedly truckers are boycotting deliveries to New York City
Well, that's stupid.
in response to the
That's stupid.
judgment. Yep.
Yeah, that's stupid. You stop because you're upset. You don't shut down New York City. I don't believe in protests and boycotts. You don't shut
Hey,
down.
it's about time. I'm
Thank
so
you.
proud of you for
Okay.
that comment. Good for
Okay,
you,
did you
Heshy.
finish the pasta I gave you?
I didn't even start the podcast.
I believe in protests.
No, I believe in
Protest
protests.
is one thing.
But to an extent. But to boycott and to do, what's that other thing? We're not boycott, what they're doing in Paris, shutting down the Eiffel Tower. You
Yeah,
can't do that.
that's-
That's wrong. You don't want to
yeah.
work, but shutting down
Occupy the
pleasures-
Eiffel Tower.
Occupying, yeah.
I think if you live in a democratic government or society, civil disobedience is part of that.
Civil disobedience is fine, but don't take
Don't
away
be a
this-
puppet to the
but
state.
don't take away services from somebody that needs it.
That's a corporate. Listen, they are working for somebody. They have a right to say, "I don't want to work for somebody. I don't want to drive to New York." That's
Okay,
perfectly.
so then don't
this is
get
America.
in, don't get in the corporate sponsored truck
Right.
and not. come
Most of
into
those
New
guys
York.
own their own truck. If they're saying, "I don't want to drive to New York," that means they probably own their own truck.
Heshy, you probably have an opinion on this. Black Beauty wants to say, I boycott Yeshiva World.
Oh, I love
What
you.
is Yeshiva World?
Yeshiva World is a
It's
website, bunch of anti-Semite, capo, Nazi pigs that took my money, go against me, and really they're mentally ill. They have no idea what being
It's
Jew
been a
is.
long known kind of website that's used. And you're in the Borough Park, Midwood, Flatbush area. It's been a long
Right, they're very
known website.
propaganda-ish. They
Propaganda for who?
for Jewish people, but their own strict way, and they're politically controlled by David Greenfeld and a couple of landlords like Leon Goldenberg and stuff
And they
like
lean
that.
left.
They lean left. Or they lean whatever way they want to, whenever they're in them, whoever pays them the most money. For example, I advertised, when I was cutting open the locks, they came and they did an interview.
We didn't
with me.
advertise last cycle. I don't remember
No,
that.
because 2 cycles ago, I advertised with them. I
In
gave them a lot
2021.
of money.
Yep.
And what happened was the last day, they went and wrote a bad article on me
What?
on the election day. So I screamed at the guy who went and did business with them. I said, don't pay them. And he says, oh, I paid them. I says, you can't pay them. They can't take my money to advertise me and talk bad about me. It doesn't make sense.
And I think Michael
But they
Smith
did it
pretty much
purposely.
asked the question that you're pretty much answering, that you do not like Yeshiva World, because he asked if you like Yeshiva
No,
World.
what's his name again? The guy who runs it? Yehuda or something?
Not Pearlstein.
Not Pearlstein, whatever. Some other guy.
Well, also a few things while we're here. Wisdom versus Knowledge wants to say Trump versus Obama 2024. Anthony Finkel says if
Well,
Nikki,
who do you think's controlling Joe Biden? I mean, it's not Joe Biden.
and Anthony Finkel
You
says
don't tell me that Joe Biden is running the country.
if-
Wait a minute, I want to hear Nicole. Is Joe Biden running the country?
I don't think any president runs in country.
But the president is the boss. No, that's not true.
All right, Cole, you're on the
Kennedy
line.
was
You're on the
man,
line here
Reagan
with
was the
George,
man.
Nicole, Heshy, and Tom on the Just Enough Heshy show. Cole, you're on the line, and what's on your mind? Hello.
Hi.
Hello?
Yes, hi. How are you? You're on the air here. What's on your mind, my friend? Tell us who you are. What's on
Yes,
what you got to say?
I'm calling Heshy. My name is Eddie. I'm Eddie from Dyker Heights.
How you
I've
doing,
called
Eddie?
before.
Eddie,
Heshy
Eddie's a
knows me.
long-time caller. I love you, Eddie. You're one of my
I
first
just wanted to
listeners.
mention there is some good news. The city council passed something about getting non-citizens to vote, and it's been defeated. Viva Festella put in a lawsuit, and it went to appeal. And so we're not going to have to worry about non-citizens voting in city elections.
That's right,
Yep.
Eddie. And I was talking about that with Tom. Tom, I was scared because I was told that this non-citizens, migrants can't vote. 800,000.
Did you see what's
Wow,
happened in
that's
San
wild.
Francisco, though? There was an Asian woman, Chinese woman, who was appointed. She's not a citizen, appointed to the Board of Elections.
And
there.
thank you, Eddie, for
Ooh.
calling in. We'll talk with you next week.
Thank you,
Yes.
Eddie. I love you, Eddie. Eddie,
Okay.
say hello to your beautiful wife.
Thank
I love
you.
you.
And we love you,
Hi,
Dr.
Eddie.
Hartz.
But what,
All
what
right.
is the law?
So-
Nicole, you better tell us. Now listen to what the appeals court said. Tell
So,
us.
so the law was ruled unconstitutional on an appeal because it violates the state constitution, which directly implies that you have to be a citizen to vote.
And a resident.
And
But we could change that. Can't we change that law, Nicole?
Can you
Can't
change the
just
state
change the law?
constitution?
Yeah.
well, the
You
mayor
could, but right now that's not what it says.
the
So
mayor-
that's why it failed.
The mayor has not responded for comment yet on an appeal, and there was an immigrant
They're
voting
going to
group.
appeal this?
He did not comment on an appeal. He was asked
But
if
this
he would.
was an appeal already.
Yes, but he could theoretically, I'm sure, go back to court.
What's your
but-
opinion, Nicole?
It can go to a
What's
higher
your
court.
opinion?
On non-citizens voting?
Yeah.
I don't believe they should.
Good girl. And you're a Democrat. Thank God.
There's hope.
Well, there were other people.
We
I
might
mean-
get it to our side yet.
Come on.
I mean, if you
Maybe if she, I bet you the boy she's going out with is a Republican. Maybe we can talk.
I just
Then
wanna
there's
make-
really hope.
Then there's hope.
I just want to point out
Love changes nothing.
If-
Why,
Actually,
why
is
has it got to
Clark-
be about me going out with
Hold on
anybody?
a
I
second.
can't have opinions
Is
of my
Clark
own.
Kent a Republican or Democrat?
Why are we bringing
We
up
wanna
Clark
know.
Kent? Oh
What's
my
wrong?
God.
What can we know about Clark
Holy
Kent? Clark
cow.
Kent,
I thought
everybody's
we had
her
an
boyfriend.
understanding. What the
He
hell?
is. He's a good-looking.
Well,
you should see
Heshy
him.
brought it up, so I'm
Oh
just
my
asking.
He is
God.
muscular. Even I.
Could you not?
Even I look at him up and down twice in a good non-woke leftist way, and that brings something up to me. There's a young lady called the Flatbush Girl,
Ay,
very
ay, ay.
popular with young girls. A lot of the Jewish religious.
she
people-
ran for city council
I
5 years
helped
back.
her.
yeah.
I helped her.
Is that Sawyer?
Not Sawyer. Sawyer's wacko.
No.
But we won't talk about this. Is a Flatbush Girl, and she's a mother, but she's more modern. She helps the gender. What's it called again? The transgender. She's into all of that stuff. And she's a religious girl, but she has her views mixed up a little bit. And I had her on my show, and I liked her, and I did support her for the thing because she was a mother, and she does her Instagram. She has 90,000 or 30,000 followers, and that's how she makes her living, through the internet. She's now doing what I did by doing the gets. The gets are women that are abused or enchained that the men won't give a divorce, can never remarry. So we make protests. I help get gets together. She's now taking it to the next level because I've stopped doing it only when it's a real serious
So,
case.
can you explain what does that mean, like
Yeah.
for us
Well,
non?
Yeah, I was gonna
So
say.
for
Religious
non-Jewish
people,
and
yeah.
the Jewish people, when somebody's married, our civil marriage is nice, but it's law. But
Right.
it doesn't. But if you're not married in a Jewish way with a particular manner,
Then it doesn't
It
count.
doesn't count.
That's right.
So you're not married. So you have to be married with a kasuba. It's like a contract or marriage certificate, and it has to have two witnesses. And the only way to get divorced, to rip that paper up,
to get a
is
get.
by getting another piece of paper that he signs willingly, that he's willing to release his
This
wife.
is why I've never been willing
Now,
to have a
even
Jewish
though
marriage.
she gets a divorce,
This is
I
why.
think I've seen this in The Sopranos.
This is
Now,
why
even
a
if
Jewish
she-
husband can hold his wife hostage
Right.
forever.
If he doesn't give the paper, it's not like
Forever.
In American court, you don't have to divorce your wife, and your wife doesn't have to give you a divorce. But at the end of the day, the judge can order a divorce. Here, the judge can't do it. We can force you to come. We can beat you up theoretically, according to the Torah. We can fine you. We can keep you out of the whole community that nobody's allowed to talk to.
But he
In
doesn't
the
have
Jewish
to.
And
press,
Black Beauty
There's a section in the Jewish press that actually tells you not to talk to him or do business with him. But here's the problem. What did the Flatbush Girl do to blackmail these people? She's now bringing the LGBTQ community to KJ
Come
to
on.
march. I swear to God, she was on the Zeb Brenner show. And the guy says to him, how do you bring the LGBTQ community? It has nothing to do with us.
And by the way,
Says,
just to
this is the way I'm
confirm-
going to beat you by embarrassing you.
And to
That's
confirm-
not the right way of doing things.
And to confirm, Heshy, because Black Beauty wanted to ask us, it is Adina Sash. Yes, Adina Sash,
Yes.
who ran in 2019 for the City Council special election to replace Jamani Williams
So most-
when he was elected.
most
Black
of the
Beauty
religious-
coming in with the facts
Most of the
again.
religious
Good for her.
Jews- Most of the religious Jews hate her, but
Mm-hmm.
all these young girls, Jewish, believe in the religious girl, follow.
Well,
because
she's
she
massive
does-
on Instagram.
Massive. She's
on
and
Instagram.
she does this.
Yeah, but think about, do you understand why, though? Like, do you understand the psychology behind why young Jewish girls, maybe some of them who got married very young, might want to follow her.
No, single
You don't
girls.
have to like her.
13,
Even single
14,
girls.
18,
Fine.
15,
You don't
they
have to
love her.
like her and what she's done, and I think what she's done is really kind of despicable. But do you understand why they might like her? If you're
they
groomed,
like her for a reason is because we don't allow our Jewish girls to watch TV or know about modern times. She's
empowering in a way.
She teaches them how to buy clothing.
But the data,
to go to
by
stores
the way,
to do
but
the
the data in
she
this
makes them feel prettier and act prettier.
But the data in this neighborhood says otherwise. There is people watching television. There is people
Yes,
looking
we are.
on YouTube.
Right, we are being more modern.
I mean, your
times.
video got 2.5 million views. It's somebody. It got served up to
Right,
somebody.
Right. But also, I want you to know something else. My son Yaakov doesn't watch when he's in school. He has a kosher phone. But when he's home, he watches all the regular stuff.
What's
and
a
has
kosher phone?
Kosher phone means
You don't know what a
it's flip
kosher phone is?
That can't do anything, not even texting, only phone calls.
what?
Yeah. And we are
So a jitterbug? He's got a jitterbug phone?
and the problem is that kosher phone costs more money than the regular phone.
You didn't see like these vending machines over here by the supermarket? They sell the kosher phone.
Right, it's a
No.
kosher phone.
I might have to get one of those for Sarah. That
We
actually
have
sounds
kosher
pretty
phone.
good.
That's right.
Wait
Kosher
a
phones.
minute.
We have kosher marijuana, and I don't want to tell you. I'm embarrassed to tell you. There's kosher sex toys today.
Okay, now you're gonna have to explain that.
Oh,
How,
oh,
what's
Yeah,
how does
you
that
really
work?
got to get
So
into
I
that.
was talking to this lady, and she says, "Well, what we do is we box the item
Yeah.
in a box where there's no pictures or thing, only the wording and a description."
Okay, we have wild
called a
imaginations.
kosher
It's
toy.
fine. Yeah, but it works like any other toy.
Well, to some extent, there's some little minor adjustments not to act like.
Is that okay? Now
Like what? It
I
goes
got,
in but doesn't touch a hymen? Like what could it possibly
like to
do
bring
that's
up
any
from-
different?
I love you. You can't say that on the air.
Why
can you?
not?
And Heshy, I'd
You
like
said
to.
it in a medical.
She did say
I'd like to bring up Heshy on behalf of Infinite Justice. He wants to state his opinion on Adina Sash. Flatbush Hag, in his words, is a 100% apokoros. I don't know what that is.
Apokoros, that
Yeah.
means
She's
she
a
is
communist
an
pretending
actual
to be religious.
Right,
That's what
a
he wants
Jewish
to
girl
say.
that-
That's all right. He
Or
thinks
a
I'm a
Jewish
communist
boy.
too. I guess that's a word he uses for everyone.
Nicole is a communist.
Yeah, he says it all the
he's,
time.
he's
What are
talking
they-
about Adina Sash.
Adina
He's talking about
Sash.
Flatbush
All right,
girl.
so he switched the name out for 2 seconds.
The problem with Adina is that she's a religious girl, and sometimes she just switches teams and says, "Oh, I'm not going to hold the Jewish way," or "I don't care to follow." You can't do that.
No.
You can't do that.
That I
Either you're
agree
going
with.
to be religious or not. You know what I mean? I don't mind that you play the game, but don't switch sides. Don't go with the transgender. Don't go with the abortion. Either stick to your push guns.
and stick to those kosher sex toys.
Linda, we are not one of them, okay, Linda? And our children are not either. And when Yaakov comes home engaged, not yet, he told me that they're taking it slow. But he's meeting
They're gonna go on 9
They're
dates.
gonna go on 8 dates.
No, I
was
told
just
him
gonna
I
say
told
that.
him 17 dates, and I asked him to bring the girl over to me. You know, like we have a big.
Oh, you
know,
haven't met her yet?
Of course, I met her. I know her. I'm the one who.
Are they allowed to go on vacation before they get married? Because
No.
I think that's a
No,
real
no,
test.
no,
Like,
by
what are you,
vacation.
crazy?
Say they can't even when she comes
They
to
can't
visit
even
my
sit alone
house.
with each other.
They can't
No.
even be in the same house together.
You're not alone.
Yeah, I think a real test of a relationship is when you go on that first trip together.
Agreed.
Right. That's after you're married.
No.
Yeah, that's not the right time to do that.
Yeah, you got to test drive, man.
Oh wow.
What?
Oh wow. That was a joke. She was joking. People do not listen to her. I mean, today's day, whatever.
Don't listen to me. George wrote the book
Nicole's
on that.
joke of the week, huh? Right.
Don't buy it unless you tried it out. Took it for a test drive.
I want to ask you a question.
See?
The migrants, there's a beautiful lady, district attorney in Arizona. Okay, I just love this lady.
Rachel Mitchell, I think.
Rachel Mitchell. There was a guy who raped and sexually did something to somebody bad here in New York, ran to Arizona. They're trying to extradite him here. She won't send him back here because she says D.A. Bragg is going to let him go.
Can I just add to that? I can't say too many details, but he used the ATM in the hotel lobby, and my office got called on it.
Wow.
Oh.
So we did help out a little bit. I don't want
Thank
to.
you.
We're not ready to get a medal or anything, key to the city or anything, but our office did get called because our
Here's a
machine
guy,
is in the
a
lobby.
rapist, sexual thing, ran away, and she can't prosecute him there, but she wants to send him back. But D.A. Bragg
Didn't he
will
commit
let him
another
go.
crime in Arizona, though?
Yes, he did.
Okay, so
But-
why not
but-
Arizona? Yeah, but Arizona has harsher penalties.
Now, just
than
to add to the
anyhow.
Yeah, but he
Just-
only get 2
Why
or 3
not
years for what he
prosecute
did.
him
He
there?
didn't- he
Just
didn't
to
do a
add to the
sexual crime.
details, though, she's a professional. Oh, you didn't
Okay.
know that?
Oh, no.
That doesn't change anything.
No, she didn't deserve to die. To be clear here, you know.
He killed her.
But he killed her. He went upstairs. He paid for his services, and
Oh, so the more severe crime was committed in New York, which is why they want.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
that makes sense.
The point is Bragg is going to let him out on bail or something, and we have a problem.
For
But
murder?
a girl who was drunk driving and hit somebody, yes, they died, she gets 20 years for a mistake. Mistakes are mistakes. I know drunk driving is wrong. Don't get me wrong. Drunk is like the mental illness, and I was trying to tell Tom and you guys that this young girl who died just now, today was the funeral, a mother of 3.
Where was this?
It was in Queens today. She died yesterday. She committed suicide. I know it's wrong, but when you have postpartum depression, you're lost. And that's why Crossroads is such a good company.
Yep.
They help you. And I believe in, your friend, Kalman Yeager, he had a $4.5 million discretion.
I think he's Nicole's friend. He's a registered
Why
Democrat.
is it always
But I
Nicole?
want you to hear this, Nicole. The man has given $4.5 million to give out to charities.
Okay.
Forget the city budget. Forget all the hundreds
They're
of millions
not,
of dollars.
they're not necessarily charities. They're nonprofits.
Right,
To be a little-
non-for-profits. You can give the money to any non-for-profit.
Sure.
Do you know he gave to the gay people money? He gave the gay people money, but he gave to Sparks, the only organization that runs for postpartum depression in Borough Park, Flatbush, Midwood, Lakewood, New Jersey. We help Jewish women all over, and non-Jews can call too. But it's made for religious and non-religious. He gave us $8,000.
Yeah,
What the
that's-
hell can $8,000 do?
That's a
Linda
travesty.
spends more than $8,000 in well, she steals more than $8,000 from me. Doesn't spend it. She's got a lot of money. I'm
that
not happy
really
with
is-
that.
that's a shame.
I was going through the safes.
Well, okay, between $8,000 and $40 million, what's the real number that
So
needs
I'm
to
gonna
help
tell
people in
you
this
what I
community?
need. I don't need one center. I need 10 centers. I have 330,000 people, 150,000 women. Forget the married women of postpartum depression. I'm talking young girls that are going through depression. Do I not have to tell you? Both of you have kids, okay, and they have friends in school. Forget your daughters are all beautiful. But some of their friends are going to be depressed or abused, and they can talk it on to people. We need places that will take these children after care programs. Take these.
Well, there's no
mothers-
guarantee just
take
because
these
your
mothers
things are
that
well
are-
in your home that your kid's not going to go
But
through
also
depression.
give them psychiatric treatment. They're embarrassed to go. A lot of the religious men are embarrassed to send their wives or charge their insurances, or even a lot of the Medicaid insurances don't cover psychiatric doctors.
Do you think
They
our
don't-
culture has something to do with that?
Right.
Because listen, we don't
But-
have a culture
but
that's
also,
open about.
You want to go to any psychiatrist,
goes
you
on.
can, but the good psychiatrists are not covered by Medicaid and Medicare. They cost $350 an hour. Where do you have that extra $350 an hour for your wife or husband? And they need it. And that lesson or that pill that they get them because by being assessed helps to save them, gives them 20, 30, 40 years of just a little bit of watching. At least we know the direction. The husband now has a father of 3. She left 3 little babies. 11-year-old is the oldest, and 11-month-old is the youngest.
What's the age?
11, I think 7 and 11 months.
Oh my God.
Oh, geez.
The problem
11
is-
and she's 30, so she started having kids at 19.
Right, she was married young. The
Wow.
point is, she didn't really have depression before, but this last one, I think when you have too much of a span between children, and I know because Linda did this, the postpartum depression comes because your body gets stretched. You're in your 30s. It's hard.
I would not assume that she didn't have postpartum depression with both of the other kids.
Maybe she was better at hiding it back
Right.
then.
Exactly.
but
Like,
the point
it's
is
a lot.
It got so bad now, and again, some of us husbands are stupid. We don't notice it. We're too busy in our lives that
Yeah.
and they hurt themselves.
It's
and
also
they
could have
try-
been the husband's fault. Listen, maybe at 19 he paid more attention to her. At 30 he didn't.
We don't pay attention to when they're older. Come on, you think I pay attention to Linda? The only time I pay
okay.
attention to Linda, I say, Linda, can you give me an extra 100 this week? And she says,
Crying out loud. The guy goes
Of
on
your
dates to
money.
the
over
grocery
here,
store.
here's the 100.
Just go to the mattress. Come on, Heshy.
No. It's she has safes. She has 7 safes with keys. And I tried to go into her pocketbook when she wasn't feeling well. I couldn't find it. So where are the keys? And she takes it out of her bra.
Yes,
The
the
keys
bra.
are here. That I don't trust you with that witch. Anyways, I love you, Linda. What's going on?
We're going to go and do our commercials in about
Really?
50
We
seconds.
didn't
One
talk about
more.
half-hour subjects.
Yeah,
here.
well, we got to go through the commercials here in about 50 or
Yeah,
so
you gotta
seconds.
shorten
But one
your
more
sentence.
time. One more
Mayor
time.
Mayor Adams is now going to punish these migrants for misbehaving. Of course you have to punish them. And the reason they're misbehaving, you have 3,000, I swear, I saw a warehouse.
Yes,
Tom,
we speak about this off
we
the
saw a warehouse with 3,000 people, like beds lined up like the army in jail.
Yeah.
Do you think they're
We
not
were
gonna
talking
freak
about
out
Floyd
after
Bennett
7
Field
months?
also, we were
You
talking
think they're
about.
not going to fight with one another when they have no jobs and they're locked up? This is not the way you're supposed to treat them. And New York City Housing Authority found 5,000 apartments vacant. Give them the apartments.
Why should they go to the front of the line, though?
You're right.
There's
But why
other
are they
families
making
wait.
it?
There's other families waiting for those
Tons of
apartments.
families.
But why are you taking away hotels from people like me?
There's veterans.
What?
There's veterans
I
today
agree.
on the streets of our city
But you're leaving
begging for
5,000
money.
vacant apartments open
And while you guys talk about that, I want to run through our last round of commercials for the evening one more time here. Green Line Building Compliance, 718-871-0382. 718-871-0382. Green Line Building Compliance, 202 Foster Avenue. And some guy next to me, it's his company, so you might want to check them out anytime. And
Call me,
they're
guys.
here in the
Call me.
Borough
I'm
Park,
always available. My
Flatbush area.
partner's not a good guy, but I'm a
Info
good
at
guy.
greenlinecompliance.com. 202 Foster Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11230. General contractors and Green Line Building consultants. They're also licensed DOB expediters. So make sure if you have any buildings issues, you give them a call.
And you can also email me on justenoughhesh@gmail.com. But
Oh.
info goes to the secretary and the rest of them. But I'm always around.
And also want to make sure we give a plug to somebody else I'm sitting next to across from me who's got Weitengruber Law Firm. And, of course, they're at 732-695-3303. They're the cornerstone of financial justice. They're at 1720 NJ 34, Wall Township, New Jersey, 07727. Also, because it's going to play in kind of reverse, HeshyTischler.com, but we'll one more time pull it up. Weitengruber Law, bankruptcy, foreclosure, defense, real estate, wills, trust and estates since 2010. They're the cornerstone of financial justice, and they're around since 2010. And, of course, Nicole works for them, so any questions, you can email her and them as well anytime. Also want to make sure that we plug one more time our friends over at Crossroads. Hessie had just mentioned them about the poor girl who had committed suicide, and it's Crossroads are at 609-810-9522, 609-810-9522, 206 West Parkway Drive, Suite 1B, Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey, 08234. Find the better help you need for a better tomorrow. And anything mental health related, behavior, substance abuse, whatever it might be, Crossroads is
Call
always
them.
there for
Try
us.
it.
Yep.
It's a free call. Come on.
Monday to Friday, it's I think from 8 to 4. Saturdays, it's 10 to 4.
Don't be ashamed.
Yep.
I'll
Yeah,
call them
Call.
if you want. The
Call.
only problem is George says I'm too crazy.
Well, we're gonna certainly say no comment on that, Heshy, but we are gonna plug.
Tom, you're on my team.
I know that, but
That's why you're sitting on my side of the table.
yes.
They're the
Well, that's why I was taking your side, actually.
Actually, I don't think they have enough doctors.
Actually, I did want to say, speaking of one more plug, it'll come on the next screen, our buddy DPH Property Maintenance Service, Mr. Anthony Finkel, 347-228-2625. Again, local guy from the Ditmas Park area, longtime friend of ours and
Better
supporter.
come shovel for me.
Offers professional, reliable, and friendly services at reasonable rates for any and all residential commercial needs, no matter how large or small. Snow removal,
They put up the wrong
painting,
picture.
trash removal. Well,
No, we're
actually,
laughing at Anthony
Yeah,
Finkel's
yeah.
comment.
yeah. And also here, if any other questions, you want to get a free quote, dph.nyc, dph.nyc, and no project too big or small, DPH Property Maintenance Service. Give us a call, 347-228-2625. And Anthony Finkel, of course, is in the chat, so you got there your plug, and then, of course, the plug, we got to make sure we mention one more time, some guy named Heshy Tischler, HeshyTischler.com, and apparently he's running for something, and you
Guys,
want
I could use $10, $5 donations. It all adds up.
even
I
a
get
dollar.
eight-
If you got a
No,
dollar,
I
maybe?
think five, isn't there a minimum?
I don't know the minimum. I
Well,
never
if you have
asked
a
for the
dollar,
minimum.
$2, spare it to
$5,
Heshy.
$10.
But let's say $10. $10 is $80.
Yep.
All you have to do is give $10.
And you can go to HeshyTischler.com, email him at justenoughheshy@gmail.com.
By the way, George,
justenoughheshy@gmail.com.
I have a budget
5318
prepared on how to
16th
spend-
Avenue.
I have a
Yep,
budget prepared on how
HeshyTischler.com.
to spend and how to distribute. Because
And
when
thank
I
you,
come-
everybody, for that.
When I come up, I'm going to find you the $40 million that I want to give out to the community. Because $47 million was given out by Farrah Lewis to her community. And we get $8,000. I show you how we can spend $40 million in this community and save hundreds of
No,
lives.
listen, I'm just asking you, you don't want to do a De Blasio situation where
They
you
got
put,
$47 million.
Okay, I'm just-
She got $47 million for the next community.
you want to account where the money's going to go
I will.
to be the most effective.
Sure, I want
You don't want-
centers,
you don't want-
aftercare programs for the mothers.
You don't want 10
But
people
you know,
in
Heshy,
management
I just want to
eating
jump.
$5 million
I
of it.
just want to jump
no,
in.
I'll be watching. Oh.
I just want to jump in,
Heshy,
Heshy, I just want to jump in real quick on the council member part because you just mentioned Farrah Lewis. Now, again, not knowing anything because I clearly don't know much about this stuff. Farrah Lewis might be a more, let's say, senior member in the majority of the city council, so maybe she delivers more for her district. I mean, that's obviously a question.
She cares more about her district.
Well, I mean, it could be that she's in, in the majority body there, and
well,
she's in, some
willing to
power.
talk
Nicole, a quick question. Does your firm represent just Democrats and migrants?
Yeah, I like that.
You want to answer that?
Big thanks to Anthony Finkel. Actually, it's Republicans like Trump who keep bankruptcy firms in business, so we represent everyone. Give me a call.
She had to stick that.
Happy to talk to him.
732-695-3303.
I want you to know something, guys. There was a man recently, a creep, admitted to abusing a 9-year-old girl and kidnapping her.
Oh, my God.
from New York
This is the
campground.
Texas
I hope the
case.
guy burns in hell.
Same.
Okay, now I just
Burn.
I just want you to know, my children.
Okay.
You think that sex trafficking and missing children is a joke and it doesn't happen. It happens to what I understand.
Well, how about what happened here years
One
ago,
child-
Heshy? Do you remember what was
Forget
it?
the ballpark, but
Yes.
I hear in the United States, one child goes missing every 5 minutes. I don't understand that number. It's not possible. But the same.
But where do these children go? That's the question I
know.
have. That's
I don't know.
That's the
They-
question we
they
should
move
All
ask.
right,
to
so can we
other
talk
co-
about that little girl? Because it's not like it's some boogeyman who kidnapped her. It was her father's friend who lived on their property, who took her to school every day, and one day decided she wasn't going to make it to school.
And the father
So-
knew he was a
and the
sexual.
father knew.
He was a
Really?
sexual offender.
Yeah, that's who took her. That's who
So
killed
the
her.
father should be in trouble. This case, I believe that the father should
I think
be
they
The
are
father-
prosecuting him.
They're prosecuting the friend because that's who,
No,
that's
I
who
think
killed
they
her.
threw the father.
I
into-
hope so because he's an
See,
idiot.
I don't agree with last week when they prosecuted the mother and father of the guy who went shooting everybody in school. That you can't do nothing
It
about.
depends if, who gave him the
But-
weapon.
But
Right.
it doesn't make a difference.
I'm with you on
They
that.
had no control of that. But
Yes,
here,
you
did. No, wait, you
You
don't-
absolutely. If you
they
don't have
did-
control
they
of your
didn't
children,
know he
you
was-
shouldn't
They
have
didn't know
them.
he was going to go shooting up the kids.
Yes, they did.
They did not.
They
If
were
you're-
warned
if
by
you're-
that
if
school.
you're- if- okay, here's a note to the public here. If your son or daughter is on antidepressants, do
Don't
not
give
give
them a
them a
gun.
weapon.
Thank you. It's really that simple.
Antidepressants are made to make you better. You know how many cops are on antidepressants?
Most of these crimes-
So wait a minute,
most-
how many cops are on antidepressants?
Most of these crimes are committed by people on some kind of
Right,
antidepressant.
but do
mentally
you know
ill.
that? Do you know that 15% of the police force is either depressed? I think last year, what was it? 20 cops committed suicide.
I think we spoke about that
Right,
last year on the
year.
show.
So you're talking cops have, and they're walking around with guns. They're walking around with sticks that they beat
And you know
up
what
push
the
you out.
and you know what the suicide rate for cops is?
Aye.
It's pretty high. I don't know
pretty
what the
high.
number
It's
is,
pretty
but
high.
it's
So I'm
pretty
just
high.
telling you, don't tell me what. So if somebody's taking an antidepressant, that means they're trying
I'm
to
saying
get better.
most of these children or teenagers who shot up their school or whatever, I would say
There's something wrong with
100% of them were on some kind of medication.
And not for nothing. When you say you can't control your kids, what
25%
kind of
of
parent
kids
are
are
you
on
if you
drugs.
can't? What do you mean you can't control your kids? These are kids. You should first of all you should know your child well enough to know what they're capable of. And two, if you can't control your child's behavior, that child doesn't belong
And
in
you
your
should
house.
be nosy.
No,
You
you're
should.
wrong.
That
You're
child
wrong.
doesn't belong in
Well,
your house.
I always tell my children, you come, but you know what? It's not your children when they're in school. They're influenced.
Yeah, but you should be
But the-
nosy. You should be.
you need
I
to
am.
know what your
You
kids
should be.
are.
What are they reading? What are they
100%.
watching?
I call my boys every day, even
100%.
now they're married. They even get angry.
Do you
at me,
call the
know.
producer even?
Yeah, the producer. I call him 3 times a day. Now he puts me on something called end or block. He goes right to voicemail. I say, you blocked me. He says, no, I didn't, Pop. And then when I saw his phone, I saw block.
Oh my
I
God!
mean, they're gonna kill
Now
me.
we know why the microphone has
I
issues.
want to tell you something
sometimes.
funny, okay? Your governor.
Does Crossroads
and
do
she is
father-son
your-
counseling?
Yeah, they do. Right?
Your governor, here it is, Governor Hochul, you're going to love this. To push for the green ban, okay, she wants to take key chemicals out of refrigerators and air conditioners. Now,
Okay.
explain, what does that okay mean? You can't shut down my air-conditioned refrigerators.
She didn't say she was shutting down
She's
your
taking
air
out the key
conditioner.
chemicals from air-conditioned refrigerators. She's going to
Okay,
bankrupt half the places.
taking them out doesn't necessarily mean she's not replacing them with something that's a little less harmful. So what?
It won't work as good.
We took asbestos out of buildings. So what?
But
If it's harmful,
but
then take
Nicole,
it out.
what's the cost? If an air
Right.
conditioner, look, when I
Listen to this.
when
I
I
want to just
worked,
tell you this.
hold on a second. When I
want to
worked
say
for
small business owners warned that aggressive timetable to phase out these hydrofluorocarbons or HFC starting next year could cripple businesses, icing out jobs, cute, and triggering price hikes on food items.
And while you're doing that, I want to say goodbye. They're about to leave here in less than 60 seconds to 620 WSNR, flagship station, 1027 WNEW, and 1640 WJPR out there in Miami. Thank you so much for tuning in. We can't wait to see you back here
She has no
next
idea
week.
about. She's not competent enough for this project, and you can't make the whole world green with stupidity that doesn't need it. By the way, you know I was in Manhattan. Do you know that there's a museum of sex?
Yes.
Yeah, we all know
That's
that.
great. Yeah, we knew that. You're late.
Are you crazy?
This has
Yeah,
been
the
around
whole
for a
world-
while,
yeah,
Hedgie.
There's a
it's-
museum that we go in.
I think
Yeah, it's
that-
fabulous. You
It's
should
not
go.
a sex. It's you know, in the olden days we used to have these sex places that were dirty and should be shut down.
I think they have an exhibit on kosher sex toys.
All you have to they made it legal.
It's not okay. You're
Little
thinking.
kids can go to this museum.
Stop it. It's not a
Little
brothel.
kids can
It's,
go. It's naked people.
Okay, I don't think people should
Would
be
you
shocked
take-
at naked
would you
people.
take
Really?
You would take your daughter to the Museum of Sex?
I wouldn't take her to the Museum of Sex, but I've taken my daughter to art exhibits and art
there's
openings.
naked people there too.
And there's
One
naked,
picture,
there's naked art. You know,
And you make them look away.
no,
No,
I'm not
you
going to let my
don't.
wife.
Of course
I'm
not.
not going
Are
to let
you
my daughter
joking?
do that.
No, I'm not joking.
You let your daughter look at stuff like. Why don't you let her watch the Playboy
Listen,
channel?
no, my daughter's not watching an act of coitus. Don't get me wrong, but
I
if
agree. I
this-
agree there.
Right, but if you take her to a museum and there happens to be usually naked women, I'm her mother. She's seen my naked body before. Like it's not
That's your
something she
woman.
hasn't
Your son
seen.
Can't see your naked body.
Of course,
And
after
do
a
we have a
certain age, of course not.
Call
right?
on the
But-
line here. Sounds like we have something.
Oh, somebody's calling on the line. I don't know what to say.
Well, there's some issues there on us, but I don't know what the
There is an issue.
the noise. I don't know what the noise is.
What's the
coming from.
noise over there, producer?
The noise is heshy as usual.
Right.
Maybe.
well, probably our producer walked out and left the other one.
Well,
in charge.
I'll try to read off these comments here in the meantime. Black Beauty would like to say, my grandfather had an ice business, delivered ice with his horse and wagon. Wisdom versus Knowledge wants to say the new ACs are going to connect to the Internet of Thing, IoT.
Really? Why?
Why?
I don't know.
Okay. Let's keep going.
I don't know, but if you do want to give us a call here next week on the show, 646-974-1580.
What's going on with
But
the noise?
there is an issue on at least the headphone end. But Anthony Finkel wants to say millionaire climate activists flying around on their private jets and 10-car convoys to tell me my gas-powered lawnmower is destroying the environment. Can you imagine that? So there's the irony of that. But yeah, so we're having some issues, but if you do want to visit Heshy's website with any questions, HeshyTischler.com. Always give him an email at justinoughheshy@gmail.com and stop by the office at 5318 16th Avenue, corner of 54th Street. As you can see, Heshy is visibly frustrated right now.
Frustrated 'cause they don't hear it inside the
Understandably so, but obviously, if you have any other final comments, and we see the screen's going to display here one more time, HeshyTischler.com, so you can see Heshy's mugshot. If you want to give him $5, $10, maybe that'll help him get some better audio and some better
I'm so
headphones
late.
there, maybe
I'm
for us
smiling
here on the
after
show.
that.
That'll certainly help maybe calm Heshy's nerves a little bit, everybody else here in the audience. But yeah, I mean, obviously, if you have any other comments, any concerns, let us know. And also, Heshy's got Green Line Building Compliance, 718-871-0382, Veit & Gruber Law Firm. And I think now our headset's going to turn down a little bit. So there you go. You have it there. And
He messed it up on purpose. He does it every show.
well, in wrestling, they call that a rib. So if,
I
there,
don't
if
know
there's
why.
something
Yeah.
that you did...
So I have a question for you before we go to the end of the show.
Sure.
I've been watching and listening to a lot of our black Americans, voters, saying openly on different news channels, on different platforms, and of course, different ideas saying, don't even Talib, what's that wacko's name? I keep forgetting.
Rashida Tlaib. Who cares?
Rashida
Tlaib. I can't, please say the W word.
No,
about
you
her.
can't. Answer the
no.
question. We have 2
Okay.
minutes. Go.
So she even told the residents of Michigan not to vote for Biden because they won't stop they won't make a ceasefire and stop the Israelis. Who are they going to vote for? They're not going to vote for Trump. So it means vote for nobody.
I think there's an old person you employed that was working for somebody named Cornel West. Maybe that's the implication, because he said some
The
things
black
that...
people are not going to vote for Cornel West.
Maybe RFK.
Cornel West
I
would be
don't
a name
know.
that
They're not
you know.
stupid. Our black American brothers and sisters are not stupid people.
Well, I think all the Democrats
To
in New
waste
York
their vote, they
should
won't
think
waste
about
the
voting
most-
for RFK.
The most powerful vote in this country is the black Americans, because they usually vote 90% together.
Well, if Biden loses like a good portion of the black vote, like 20, 30%,
But where are they going to vote? They're not
then Biden's in
So
trouble.
are they going to vote for Trump?
I think some of them will. Well,
Some
okay.
of them might.
Hold on a second. I've seen the statistics. 17% of blacks said they would vote for Trump.
Wow.
20% said they would vote for none of the above.
So they just won't vote at all.
So they won't vote at all. Or you think some of them will flip even more to the Trump column.
I want to finish this off tonight with the ceasefire. They go to the South African bigoted animal country is trying to tell Israel ceasefire.
Yeah, and they lost.
And they did lose?
They lost in the criminal court, in the International Court
So
of
the
Justice.
International Court ruled what?
Ruled that it's not a genocide and that Israel should, refrain from any genocidal activities, which is what they were doing
they're
anyway,
doing.
and ruled against the
But
ceasefire.
my
They
question
lost.
to you is, where do they want us to go? They want us to give back land. Now, here's the deal. When you're at war, you start a war. One of the sides start a war. You conquer your enemy. You get to keep the land. You get to keep it.
You think this
And
is
it
about
wasn't
land?
the Jews that's... You get to keep the land.
You think this is about land? You think we give a damn
But that's
about
what they say.
keeping
It's
Gaza?
land. That's what they're saying. It's land.
It's not about land. We
Gaza.
don't
They
even
want
want
to
it.
take back Israel Prime, the West Bank. They want to take back parts
No,
of
they don't.
Jerusalem.
Israel wants none of it. Israel wants none of it. All they want is for Hamas to stop existing. They don't want
No, no.
responsibility for the land.
So Hamas and the Palestinians say, give us back Jerusalem, which belongs
Go
to
to
us.
hell. They're not getting it.
But that's my point. They had old Jerusalem. Jerusalem was split in half. The old city of Jerusalem, the main Jerusalem, belonged to the Arabs. And we made a new little town called New Jerusalem.
Yeah, but wasn't there an Armenian quarter, Greek quarter?
That was all in the original city. The old city, the only city called Jerusalem. We started an outskirts called New Jerusalem for the Jews. When the Jews conquered in 1967, when the Arabs attacked, the Jews conquered the old city. They combined New Jerusalem to Old Jerusalem. I was walking between New Jerusalem and Old Jerusalem in the 1969, walking over garbage, crawling over, and that land was free. Today, it's billions of dollars.
Well, that shows you that those are things we're going to talk about certainly on next week's show, and I hope everybody tunes in. Once again, you can follow Heshy on YouTube at Just Enough Heshy. Make sure you hit that sub button if you're here for the first time, and do that as well.
I think my joke was funny, everybody. Just for your knowledge,
well,
comment on
maybe
that.
next week it will be
Black
even
Beauty,
more funnier.
tell them that my joke was funny.
And thank you to everybody that's tuned in here, and I'd like to thank everybody that's been supporting me over on my YouTube channel. I have gained 60 new subscribers in the last 2 weeks, so I really appreciate that very much. Yeah, definitely. I have 2,100 followers on my Facebook page, so I appreciate that. Check me out anytime at SportsWire Radio 6579 on YouTube, and I'm on Twitch now also, so if you are bored anytime you want to come on Twitch, I'm on Twitch as well at SportsWire Radio. But Heshy, I know, wants us to play that music, so producer, play that music for us, and we'll see you next week. And